Welcome to Rauta, welcome to my home city, Turku. This time it's not a festival but a gig during a weekday. This is Lucifer's Child and I have a special guest from Greece. Hello sir, please state your name and status. Why are you here with me tonight?
Okay, so hello. First of all, thank you for coming here and for having this great discussion with me. To begin with, I'm George. I play the guitar for Lucifer's Child. I have been doing several other stuff in the Greek black metal scene. I've been playing guitar for Rotting Christ in the past 7 years. I've been playing guitar and several other instruments on the latest Necromancy album. I've been playing the guitars for Euphoria, so on their latest record. So I've been quite busy in our beloved scene, and tonight I'm here to play Utopia Club in Turku and make some fucking hell with Lucifer's Child, and we are on tour with Nervo Chaos. So it's the northern part of Europe we are touring at, and it's fucking great to be here.
Well, it's always great to have Greek visitors. You're always very, very nice and how to say, really warm-hearted people. Let's start with that because, like I said before, the camera started rolling. Whatever it's people, various bands, old or new, coming from Greek, you always seem to be very super friendly, super polite and all that stuff. What makes Greek people so warm-hearted?
I guess it's the weather, I guess it's the way you grew up, it's the culture, it's the blood, the DNA, it's a combination of several things that make you feel like that. I don't believe that someone is cold and like Greek can be like completely dickheads and completely warm and good people. Same as Finnish people, I've met cold people and I met really warm-hearted people, but it's a different culture, different types of expression. And it takes for some, let's say some people, and like for instance Finland, I've seen that it takes a little bit more time, but the boundary can be stronger.
Yeah. Once you kind of cross the boundary,
exactly, it's stronger. So it always depends, it varies, and I don't know, it might be the hot weather, good food.
Might be. I think that has something to do with the nice Mediterranean atmosphere, good food, and
something like that, man.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Now, as you mentioned, you played in various bands, and I actually remember for the first time when I was hearing about Lucifer's Child, to me it was like, okay, so this is kind of our Rotting Christ spin-off in a way, but then again, I also know that the core of bands, especially the old ones like Varatron, Necromancy, Rotting Christ, etc., Zemial, Kavir, what have you, all kind of are related, know each other and all that stuff. Is Greek metal scene really that small, or is it just because you are bonding over this kind of music and scene?
It's like a family, man. It's like a small. It's not that. I mean, we are a small country. I mean, we're not that many millions, and we have several bands that they have been active and producing and making music. But these bands have been like, you can count them in these fingers. 10 fingers. This like I'm talking about. I would consider nowadays Lucifer's Child as one of these bands, but not like 5 years ago. Like there are bands that starting right now and they have made some demo and some EPs, but other than that, like to have consistency and have be able to be serious and do what you do with total love and be independent and work. Like only a few bands have managed to do that, like Varatron, Rotting Christ, Necromancy, Zemial, Kavir, and several other like Dead Congregation, Herontas, and like there are many bands that have been doing this, but not that many bands that keep it on and have a duration during time. So the family is not that big. And it's quite easy to meet each other and hold in good relations and work together, which is beautiful. I love, working with other bands even. We toured with Varatron. I played with Rotting Christ, for many years. It's community. It's community. And when you meet one, it's easy to meet the others. And, we have same mentality, same ideas, so we fit.
I think I want you to know because I mean in Finland when there is like a huge amount of different bands, it sometimes it seems like it's a handful of people doing different kind of side projects, and then they're like more like, hey, you should come to our band, I should come to do feature your band, and suddenly you have like I don't know 20 people and 100 bands and all connected. But there are also kind of a new generation always coming up. Is that the same thing happening in Greece?
Yeah, absolutely. There are fucking killer bands making new records. Like the guy who filled in and joined the band that plays bass now, Costa, is also a guitar player and frontman for a band called Decipher. And Decipher have released their second full-length album now, and I consider them as the most promising band of the Hellenic black metal scene. They do an excellent job. I mean, the scene is developing, but it still will take a lot of time and consistency until we say, okay, this band isn't like, yeah, I love these guys, you know, that this band will stick around.
Another thing which is, I guess, very prominent and kind of a defining thing in the Greek scene is that a lot of bands tend to seem like have a warmer sound as opposed to, say, Swedish. Swedish are more known for the melodies, and lots of Norwegian bands, kind of a grim sound. But a lot of Greek bands
lots of heavy metal, you say, right?
Hmm?
I couldn't agree more. It's the tempo. Like Greek black metal has been more close to heavy metal in a way, than to Norwegian black metal. I mean, there are lots of some similarities there, but the melodies, the tempos are slower, you know, and the grooves,
exactly.
like you could say that it's heavy metal, like more closer to battery, like
kind of epic,
epic as well. Yeah, exactly. If you listen like Scarlet from Necromantia, or like Non Serviam or Thy Mighty from Rotting Christ, like these albums that define the Greek black metal, also Varathon Records, the first one especially. It's like more like listening to battery, mid-tempo, epic stuff, but quite melodic, quite heavy, quite like it is black metal. The whole essence is like black metal lyrics, everything is there, but it's not that dark, the music. And I kind of like this, not kind of like it, I love this type of playing black metal because it differs and it talks to my soul.
Mm-hmm. I remember that when I had a conversation with Zemiala, guy Warskath a few years ago now, and he explained how Battery inspired a lot, and of course you can really hear it. Yeah. And that also reminded, like, when you look at the years when these bands were formed, including, of course, Rotting Christ, Varathon, etc., it's like a lot of those bands came really early on when we're talking about the change between the first wave and second wave of black metal. Yeah. But somehow, for some reason, a lot of Greek bands are overlooked when we're talking about like mainstream black metal approach, and people are almost like forgetting, hey, a lot of Greek bands were there way before a lot of Norwegian or Swedish bands.
Yeah.
Why do you think this is happening? Why Greek black metal isn't getting the attention they would deserve based on age and experience?
I'd say it's the low profile and not... you know, the Norwegian black metal and Swedish black metal like might have some history, some stories behind them. Like each band has something like more spice to add, and we don't have that. I don't want to mention any band or like point my finger anywhere, but there might be like we don't have that type of stories. So it's kind of boring. It's kind of boring to discuss about only music nowadays. You see, it's more interesting. I see that people become more into the social media, more about reading, more stuff about the personal life, more about yellow type of things. You know, it's kind of mainstream nowadays. You know, it's easy to it's like a clickbait. Like, and also the webzines press is following this, and I don't like that, but it's the way it works. And I mean, Greek black metal has never been like that. I mean, Norway, there have been murders, there have been, you know,
arson,
lots of crimes, and this like if I was holding two newspapers and I read murder and I just read like about and on the other about the financial news, I wouldn't give a fuck about the finances. I would read about the murder, you know.
Yeah, of course. So scandal is what brings a lot of people into the scene.
Yeah, exactly. And it's more interesting to get your attention. I'm not saying that it's not good. Of course, it's a diamond. I love most of the classic Norwegian black metal stuff, but we don't have that. We don't have that in the Greek scene. So I suppose this is one of the reasons that we're more. It's more. We don't get this much attention and appreciation because of the low profile in general. We keep, you know.
So because of no scandals, you're not interested.
Yeah, exactly. No scandals, no big fights. We keep on hard fucking work about doing it, you know.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard for us to tour, to get outside Greece, you know. It's really hard, you know. You either fly or drive 2,000 kilometers.
Well, that's very true.
Yeah. So it is a bit harder.
Let's focus now more on Lucifer's Child and you as a person. What drove you into this extreme metal? Why not play something nice or something just heavy metal instead of going into the dark and all this fascinating metal style we know as black metal?
I would say it's something that comes from life itself. I mean, the way I grew up and the influences and my family environment and everything led me to love the goods in black metal and like have, you know, darkness and black metal and what this music and what this scene presents and what this is about. I feel a connection and I don't know why, I don't know how to explain it, but it started like I like what I hear and I like the lyrics and I started connecting to the music when I started listening to this more and more and I suppose it's a combination of how I grew up and that this music talks directly to my soul and I want to play this music because this expresses me the best possible way than any other music.
Now, Greece has a long, super ancient history with all kind of religions and, of course, a lot of philosophical styles and all that stuff. However, they are not that, obvious or prevalent in the scene, whereas a lot of Nordic bands are more about, anti-Christianity and all. What is your take in this world where Greek is basically the leading country when it comes to Western philosophy and all? How has it affected you or your lifestyle or ideology?
Well, it took some time until it affects me because, now I'm 32, if you asked me 7, 8, 9 years ago, it would be hot-headed, more teenage kind of thinking, just
edgier
raw,
in a way?
raw. Yeah, exactly, raw. But during time, studies, reading, and getting to the point where you understand what the Greek philosophers, not all of them, but what Greek philosophers in general talked about and what each of them had to give. You appreciate it, you understand it, and you adopt. You try to adopt in your real life. And this compared to, let's say, any other, there are several other cultures, Viking culture, several other civilizations and philosophical and ways of living and philosophies that are great, but I think that the basis of that, which is, this might sound like elitistic, but
go ahead.
But the Greek, what we gained from our history and from our philosophers is incredible treasure, man. And
that's what I mean. It's like a cradle of whole Europe in a way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is actually. And we are lucky and dumb at the same time. We are lucky to have it there, but we are not smart enough to understand it as soon as possible and try to adopt it and make our lives better and get to the point we want to get and reach our goals and do what we love to do through these ways of living and through these ways of thinking, which are very important, I think.
Yeah, that is also something that I find kind of strange that a lot of, especially Nordic bands, especially even more Swedish and Norwegian, have been always like proud of their Viking history. Denmark, I don't know why, not so much because they were part of that whole thing.
Exactly.
But Nordic people have always been like, yeah, we have these Viking themes. It doesn't have to be Bathory, but a lot of band like, okay, we're talking about Viking history, how we conquered lands, how we pillaged, and all that stuff.
Yep.
And at the same time, Greek bands are almost like, okay, we have these great philosophers, but let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
It's almost like why that is so often overlooked or forgotten.
I think, in a way, I try to metaphorically have this into Lucifer style lyrics and try to transform these philosophical quotes or like these ideas, like not always, not in all songs, but there are songs that I've tried to do a metaphor and connect them to Luciferianism and have this lyric that you might read it and sounds like a storytelling about the devil and devil worshipping and Satanism. But behind that, there is a meaning. I don't want to write lyrics that it's about Satan and fire and like scare children or like try to look and sound extreme. There is a meaning behind it and philosophical meaning. But if you want to get deeper and you read it and talk with me, I can explain more. But if you just read the lyrics, it will be like something more, let's say a storytelling, a poem, a dark poem or whatever, something like that. So I choose to do it, but I don't know why the hell Greek bands don't use it that often. I like to do it this way. I have no fucking idea. Kavir did it and do it in a great way, using the ancient Greek myths, ancient Greek philosophy, and lots of our history in their lyrical content, and it's beautiful. As well as some musical parts as well, themes and.
You mentioned lyrics briefly. Do you have a favorite topic or a favorite piece of lyrics which you're really, really like proud of? Like this is defining Lucifer's Child better than anything else?
I wouldn't say any specific. I think all lyrics and whatever we wrote so far it expresses us to 100%. Each song is something different. It's a different story with a different meaning, and this is. As I told previously, each song has you can read it and you could say it's like a storytelling, but there is a meaning out of a story, It's like the stories that our parents were telling us before we go to bed or something like that, there is a meaning.
There's a boogeyman behind the bed.
Yeah,
under the bed.
under the bed, but not like that. I mean, there is a meaning at the end of that, like. There is a meaning after that at the end. So this is what the meaning. It's something that I feel that I've earned and I have experienced through life and through these studies, as I said, like studying ancient Greek philosophy and philosophy in general. So I can try to input this and try to speak in my songs with these lyrics that they're satanic or Luciferianism is the main aspect, and parallelize them and try to not give it like, not just talk about this like Aristoteles or something like that, like straight away, just do a metaphor, and let anybody who reads it imagine something for himself, This is the way I try to do it.
Let's tackle the question, what the hell is Lucifer's Child?
This is quite simple answer. You will probably imagine that. I love King Diamond, I love Merciful Fate, and this is it. Our love to King Diamond and Merciful Fate, man. This is it. It's quite simple. We decided to name the band like that because we love this band.
So it's kind of like a
favorite heavy metal band.
Yeah. So a lot of people obviously see Lucifer as, kind of a devil archetype, some kind of evil creature. At the same time, some say, yeah, it's the icon of rebellion, like saying like, fuck God, we're gonna do our own shit, like, let's get freedom. Some people say it's the light bearer, bringing light into the darkness. There's so many ways to interpret what Lucifer actually is, what it is to you.
Individualism, I'd say, rebellion, the way of life that we choose to have, and what we do now it couldn't fit more. And enlightenment, absolutely. Knowledge. So it has nothing to do about being only evil and like super serious constantly and like be a true Satanist. It has nothing to do with that. I don't believe in these poor ideas. I believe that Lucifer's existence in our lyrics and in my life is something that keeps us going on, because it's a very important. It's a way of life. It's a philosophy. It's a God. It's everything. You know. It's something that it's a true fucking spirit. You know. To be independent. To not follow the river. Go against the river. And this is not because you just want to go against the river. Just because it's because you feel that this is wrong, and you have other needs, and you need to go and take some other decisions that, let's say, the mass doesn't follow. You know. You're different.
But why with the Lucifer? I mean, it's very kind of a biblical approach versus
Yeah.
you could have how a lot of those mythical gods or godlike creature from the Greeks mythological stories. Like, okay, this could be about Perseus, or this could be about like Hector.
That's a good question. Yeah, well, I think Christianity has done the most bad in this world, and it's a way to say fuck off and use that, and it's quite simple. That's the way.
How is Christianity been affecting, in your opinion, Greek culture and Greece as a country?
Let's start with practical stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
They destroyed all ancient temples that they existed in Greece and built Christian temples on top of them. So if you go in any place, in any temple, I don't know if you've ever visited Athens, but in each temple, Christian temple, you go, underneath there remains of an ancient Greek temple that we had many gods. There were temples all over Athena. You could see, you know, there were rituals happening for different reasons. Okay, so when Christianity came, I mean, it's not that Christianity came. When they forced Greek people to believe in Jesus and Christianity, like they destroyed, they buried the history of this land, and it's not. And this is ridiculous. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You're a fucking, I don't know, you're an idiot.
So it's like replacing polytheism with monotheism, like fuck your many gods, like let's replace it with one who is gonna punish you with love.
Yeah, he's gonna punish you, and he's gonna torture you, and then he's gonna put out like all this Christianity, like when you're, I mean, if you try like to go in the church every Sunday and just follow this dogma, and you're very like strict to that, I see, you know, people, they are very conservative. They don't have any fucking evolution in their life.
They're more like going back.
They're going back, and what does not evolve dies. This is what I believe.
So do you think Christianity will eventually like kill itself because it's so dumb to exist?
Unfortunately, they will still preserve that, but I really like that we are here having this conversation, and there are a few believers of the other side, and you know, there are more people that at least it gets more gray. It's not that, you know, that people are not that fanatic anymore. I see that in Greece, I see that in Athens. The people are getting, you know, more away from the church. They don't believe they're this,
like abandoning
faith to this, you know, and start believing their own selves, and do as they please and do as they wish, and try to seek different ways and philosophies to encourage their spirits and illuminate their spirit and move forward, even though they don't have any single knowledge about Buddhism or whatever. Like people that have poor education, but still they say, okay, fuck off, I don't believe that anymore, you know.
It's like becoming more secular in a way.
Yeah, exactly, because you know what church stands for, it doesn't what they say they stand for, you know. All this help and all this warmth and all this, but nothing to do with that, man. The church in Greece has shitload of riches, you know, and we've recently been, for instance, in a huge crisis and financial crisis. Nothing done. They gave nothing. They gave nothing.
Have a little bit bread, you will fix the problem.
Yeah. It's like that. So, I mean, after that, you know, some people in the mass needs to see something like really, really obvious in front of their eyes to start believe that what they say to you is completely bullshit and bullcrap, you know.
Now, some people have been asking, and that this is also a question that I should be asking more often, what about other religions. Like so many people say, yeah, Christianity this and Christianity that, and I'm like, okay, at least in Finland, Christianity is pretty much what there really is all about. And I know it's a thing for many other countries, but still people persist. Like, what do you think about other religions? Should they be having the same experience, same resolution and all that stuff, or does it even matter in a country which is not more than Christian?
I'd say, to begin with, I don't believe that any religion is bad. I believe religion is good, and in many ways. But the way that Orthodox and Catholicism has been presented, and the way it had gained, well, its supporters, we didn't gain, it forced its supporters, it's completely fucking wrong. If you read the Ten Commandments, like if you just listen to what Jesus said, it would sound really friendly, really nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a basic sense: don't kill, don't steal, don't rape, and etc.
Yeah, it's like moral ethics. Like you say, okay, this doesn't sound pretty bad, you know.
But they kind of contradict it.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, don't you kill, but if you don't believe us.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's kind of a form of fascism in a way.
Yeah, it's a fucking lie. It has nothing good, you know. The way they just do it, you know. So I have nothing against any religion. I think Buddhism is great. I think there are lots of, you know, even you can even study, you know, some other Asian religions and see that there is quite some interest and really nice philosophical ideas behind them that if you adopt, then your life might...
They're more like moral codes, maybe.
Exactly. But nothing wrong with any religion. The bad thing is the way that they just force people to just follow it and just give money or whatever, you know, just to be there and like not watching what they have in front of them. Just fucking ships. And this is what I not like.
Now, religions are often very, very much tied, for the obvious reasons, to politics, and politics have been like gaining a bigger footprint, so to say, in the metal scene as well. And I think sometimes it's harder and harder to avoid all the political takes when it comes to black metal, even though a lot of people would say, yeah, we're not gonna touch that subject. How do you feel politics taking place in black metal? Does it belong there, or should it be somewhere else?
Well, to me, politics. Okay, I started playing the guitar when I was 11. Sorry, I will start from another thing. Okay, so since then, you know, I remember my mother paying like to learn how to study with some teacher and go to music school and learn how to play properly, because I said, yeah, I want to fucking do it. You know, I really love to play music in my life, you know, so. And I remember myself, and she was struggling about it and like helping me and supporting me step by step. Then as soon as I got 18, started touring, blah, blah, blah. And this has been so hard to do, and still it's really hard to do it nowadays. So if you talk me about politics, I would like to get in there, like, show my middle finger to every fucking politician in our Greek parliament, you know, and say fuck off and like, maybe do some more or what, you know. Yeah. But this does not belong to our music. I not hate, but they have never helped. They have never been any help, and I think it's the way the politicians and the government has stood besides Greek black metal music its absolute absence. Speaks for itself, and how we all think about it. We are not this type of people that will ever touch this subject, because, I mean, not all of us, there are bands that want to do it, but Lucifer Child, we are not touching this subject, man. We don't like them. We don't like it. It has never talked to our soul. We were free, we are rebels, we have our own ideas, and we keep them for ourselves, but of course we have ideas, we do have our view, but we will never encourage anyone to follow anything through our music, you know. He's free to do anything he wants, and we will not support any system that is that shit.
So kind of an anti-establishment.
Yeah, you could say that. You could say that, man. They have never. It's just the truth. It's just regular life. They have never been close to us. You know. I see people like for instance, Amon Amarth, In Flames, or Watain come to play the Greece, and you know, I see the Swedish embassy sponsoring the event. You know, what do we get when we come to Helsinki, or what we go? What we will we get?
I guess Greek embassy is doing nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And it's because of our poor exposure into what's truly going well with our arts and with our tribe. So, no.
Now, which comes first? Playing live or doing music for, at the rehearsal room, the studio, whatever, home? Which is more important? Creating music or playing live?
I'd say both are necessities. I love being on the road. I'd say 50-50.
But if you had somebody's pointing a gun on your head.
Play live.
Okay, that was a quick one. What are some of the best favorite experiences, like that place I would love to visit again or live that moment again? Are there any things like, man, this is something that I'm gonna remember when I die?
Yeah, there are several of them. Yeah, so, I mean, first Lucifer's Child concert is that.
Where was it?
Bulgaria. Mm-hmm. And we supported we were playing with Septic Flesh, another Greek death metal band, symphonic stuff, friends of ours. So we were opening for them. So it was the first show we were putting ever, new lineup, new guys, gathered in the because we changed drummer back in the day. So we go play, and when the show, while we were playing, we had bad sound, technical problems, lots of bads. But as soon as it ended, I want to keep on doing it for the rest of my fucking life, because I loved each second of this concert, with my guys up on stage and do what we do, It's this type of energy. This concert, Bulgaria, 2014, I think, or 15 was like that. Then is a Rotting Christ concert in Czech Republic called a festival, open air, called Masters of Rock, and we traveled 2 days. We haven't slept. We slept in 2 days for an hour, and we had to play in front of 16,
horrible.
70. Yeah, horrible, but thanks to some energy drinks and some food, I mean, we managed to get what we need to stand up there. And I mean, when you stand up there, you don't fucking need anything. This is the ecstasy, We played in a festival in front of 16, 70,000 people. This was the largest amount of people I've ever played in my life. And no matter if it's small or big, the energy that you transmit while playing, it's still there. So if the show builds up, this is what we do with Lucifer's, this is what was happening with Rotting Christ. We really take care of what we do up there. So I remember the show starting fading in, and by the end, the peak of the show, when we played last song and all the reaction and what we gained with showing the devil horns to the people, and the people they were doing that. All this energy cannot be replaced by anything in the world, and I feel the luckiest man. If then I would die after this moment on stage, I would feel I am still the richest man on earth. I don't need anything more. This is what I need.
Is there a big difference playing with Lucifer's Child or those other bands you mentioned? Is there a difference, how it's gonna feel, how it's gonna reward you?
Only musically, no. The reward is the same. The feeling is the same. The energy is the same. I mean, it's still the same person. So, yeah, no differences. No differences other than the music. No.
What are your tools, your most important ways to cope through a tour? Being in shape and all that stuff, being tired, not being tired and all that stuff.
Yeah, trying not to be tired, you mean?
Yeah.
Working out, having some proper food, be well organized every day, not having, it's easy to have chaos, you have to, you're the accountant nowadays with the social media, you have to spend some time to the phone on the laptop and just to do some work with this stuff, which is pretty you know, it's not my type of kind of thing, but you have to do it. So working out, trying to sleep as much as possible when you have a proper bed, because you might spend the rest of your day 8, 10, 12 hours in a van, so you need to maintain sleep when you can in a proper bed, or work out when you can, just to keep in good shape. This is what you do. What we do on stage is quite intense, so we want to keep in shape. We want to be able to do it the best possible way. So you need to maintain a few things: food, sleep, and be well organized in your day, and like split your time in a proper way, so there's no chaos.
Yeah, this is actually something that I wanted to ask, because of course I can see you have a good physique versus a lot of other guys getting older, getting a beer belly, or maybe too much drugs, too much drinking, too much this and that, and then you're getting like people in their 40s looking like they're in their 60s, and like, yeah, that's not maybe the way to go over decades and decades, but a lot of healthier lifestyles have been kind of seeping in versus the old school rock and roll lifestyle, which was just, you know, like, I don't know, drugs and shit.
Yeah.
But
well, if like, I mean, the whole thing is it is sex, drugs, and rock and roll. If you say if I say no, it's not like that, I would be a liar. You know, everything is there. Yeah. Everything is there. So I feel that this is a jar of honey, and you put your hand like constantly. If you put your hand constantly in, then the jar will empty. You know, there won't be any more honey. So I decide to put my hand in the jar of honey and have some, you know, take a lick, you know, every now and then, and not just, you know, be like full fucking on and do everything all the time.
Get all greedy.
Yeah, I don't want to be greedy, you know, because I always try to find a balance, you know. There will be good time. I might have some smoke. I might get drunk, wasted with my friends after a good gig, but that's not every day, man. Because the next day I won't be able to perform, and not be able to perform is not be able to feel the way I want to feel on stage, you know. Physically and mentally. So this is quite important to me, you know, have a proper physique, so you have a proper mental state.
I think this is pretty good thing good to get it wrapped. But before I let you go and prepare for the show, this is one of my stupidest, silliest final ending questions. If you get to know people, I hope, getting like, okay, I want to listen to this band, they have some interesting and smart things to say, which song or album I should start with, what would you recommend? Which is the good way to start listening to Lucifer's Child?
I would say go ahead and listen to The Order. This is our most complete work. This is the second full-length album we've produced, and you will get the best possible picture. And if we get more specific, you can listen to The Order. This is a song that identifies the band sound.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, final word to the wise. What would you tell to the audience? Like, this is the smartest thing I can say on the spot.
Stay true, believe in your own spirit, and see you next time, motherfuckers.
Now, you got some wise words there, and I will let George go. Dude, before you go, we will say hello and greetings and all that shit, and stay tuned for these motherfuckers. They play some good Greek stuff, and now you know what to expect. Check out their music and stay tuned for their shows. This is Rauta. This is Lucifer's Child. See you. And before you go, let's just take a...
Man, thank you. This was...
so much. Hold on.
We don't want to drop it. This was excellent.
You like it. I like it as well. This is why I do it.